sugar, white sugar, the domino sugar. That's absolutely bad for
I
us.
love
Cause
Kool-Aid.
I bet you do. I used to drink Kool-Aid too, Josh.
Yeah.
I don't drink that stuff. What about jungle juice?
My favorite flavor is grape, and my favorite color is, you know, it's cherry. You know,
cherry, yeah.
That's my favorite color. So
yeah, I go hard on that
cherry is
too.
a flavor too.
I know, but to me, in my community, the guys I know, grape is a color and
Grape
cherry
and red.
is a flavor. Okay. But what about sugar?
You gotta let that go. Okay.
But sugar and candy, what about?
Sugar, because it's processed. That means it's taken through a chemical process, and it's the nutrients from that sugar cane are stripped. You know, this white sugar is coming from a sugar cane, and it has more damaging effects on the body than anything else. So it's not replacing nutrients in your body. When you think of living a healthy lifestyle, you want to actually give to your body and see it as a temple and see it as something that you're blessed with, and you want it to run as long as it can.
Right.
So you want to create an environment where if you do get sick, that your body can naturally heal itself.
What you got, Trey Carter?
I was gonna get into your business a little bit.
Wait a minute. What you want to know?
Well, as far as you, I know your diet that it's very different than what's on normal menus. So I want to know, do you, when you go on dates and things, is it kind of hard to find that spot to go to, or do you have to cook at home? Is everything a dinner and a movie at home, or how do you do it?
That's a good question. I have to know where we're going first. Like if I'm dating someone, he has to know that I do eat differently, and I hope that he would be creative enough to call the restaurant and find out if they can accommodate how I eat.
Right.
So you do date outside of your menu?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
But back to the good thing about me being a meat eater that I am
Okay.
is, you know, when I'm tempted to eat something, I can eat it. And
That's
we talked
true.
about this before you came on the show, that, you know, you have certain things that you crave for. What is your biggest crave?
I love cheesecake.
Love cheesecake.
Yellow cake, pound cake, all of that stuff. So I had to be creative, and I had to make it vegan.
I mean, but what's the process?
What's the process of making it
I mean,
vegan?
you can't fake that.
I mean, but
how do you fake it?
Yeah. What's the different ingredients that you
They
use?
have substitutes.
Really?
I actually made a vegan cheesecake.
But think about substitutes. When I had a teacher,
But no, it tastes.
it's not the same as a substitute. When the substitute came, it just wasn't the same.
It depends on the substitute. Sometimes those substitutes can be better than the teacher.
All right.
I cut
I cut up when the substitute came.
Don't sleep on the substitutes.
So-
but no, I have to make
What?
accommodations.
All right. So I guess you feel that some people have their diets and they end up in certain positions with high blood pressure, diabetes, etc. Do you look at us the same way you may feel that people look at vegans like, ooh, what are they? Do you look at us saying, boy, they just won't learn. They clock is ticking. They got about another 20 years and they're gonna be laying on.
No, not that extreme. No, unless I feel that someone knows better, and if they're having health problems and they're still eating the way they're eating, and they're not trying to do better, yeah. But I do want to let the people know I'm not saying everyone should become a vegan,
Right.
or that's a lifestyle for them, but just be more conscious eaters. You know, when you're conscious, you're aware of what you put in your body, and you want to try to limit the crap that we put in, the trash, because we're not trash cans.
But the thing about it is, you know, people have been eating meat for the dawn of time.
Right.
And, you know, I have a grandmother that's, you know, up in her 80s. I know friends who have relatives that's up in their 80s. And they're smokers, chronic soul food eaters, and cookers.
And love it.
So, I mean, what is the big difference, you know, with what you think they're doing? Because, like you said, we have poor diets, period, nowadays with, you know,
it's worse,
you know, fast food is more rapidly, you know, greasier food is more out there nowadays. But, you know, since we've been in this country, and I'm talking about black people in general, we've been eating, you know, the pig, you know, the swine and all the unhealthy things because we had to make use of what we were giving.
The leftovers. Absolutely.
So, I mean, but what you think is different with their diet that they had back then?
Well,
that's a great question, because with my great grandmother, she didn't eat fish and she didn't eat pork, but the practices that they used, because my great grandmother, they had their own land, so they would raise their own pigs and, you know, have their own chickens, and so the practices they used, they didn't shoot them up with hormones. They didn't have to mass produce all these chickens to make them bigger to feed more people. So they can feed them grains and corn or whatever, and it was healthier, I would say. And they exercised. The air was probably cleaner out in the country.
I think the diet is just one part of
Absolutely.
the whole lifestyle.
Right.
You have people, I'm sure, NBA athletes, they can eat all fast food all day and run up and down the court, and I can be a vegan and pass out on running up the court
it's a holistic approach to healthy living. You're absolutely right.
So I think, like I said, this is one piece to the large picture. And
I
if
agree.
you eat right, work out, I mean, it's mind, body, and soul. So I think the health part is the body part, but you got to get everything else aligned. And
absolutely.
That's my view.
And with my grandmother, she's 70 something. She's lost some weight, but she's still a heavy woman. So if you think about all that weight, how much your heart has to pump, your knees, your ankles, things like that. So you want to make sure that you're not putting a whole lot of junk in your body that's going to add this unneeded fat. You know, we do need some fat, but we don't want to go overboard.
So what do you want the people to take away from, this whole discussion that we opened up today about healthy eating? What is the main thing that you want people to know? Not just trying to make people be vegans, but what is the point that you want people to understand?
I want them to understand that they need to be mindful eaters. That when it comes to if your child or if you want some fruit or you want something that's like sweet, think of eating more fruit. Think of eating definitely fruit that's in season. You know what I mean? And if instead of going when it comes to looking at the foods that you do consume, turn that box around and look at the ingredients. And if you can't understand what you are reading and these chemicalized words, then you need to really second guess what you're buying, because you don't understand what you're putting in your body, then you don't know what effect it's going to have. So try to eat more whole foods, greens, vegetables, and fruits and grains and things like that.
Because we're lazy beings. If I'm at work, I get a 45-minute lunch break on average.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm gonna cook some greens in 10 minutes, and
that's why you have to prepare. You have to,
because that's what you do, right?
Yeah, I have to prepare stuff. When I do cook, I have to prepare, and I love the creativity and the time and the energy and the love that I put forth into cooking, because I create.
Trey Carter, he's shaking his head. What you shaking your head for, Trey Carter?
I couldn't do it. He said the love, the creativity. That's my one thing I can't do is cook. I'm learning to cook right now, and it's a struggle.
What's the challenge, Trey?
I'm one of those people when I'm ready to eat. That's when I want to cook. I need to learn how to cook before I get hungry. So when it's prepared and done, then my appetite comes. But
you know what? Eat a little snack before you have the big meal. Sometimes I have to eat a bowl of cereal and then I cook. But I love cutting the onions and the garlic and just creating something.
Or just do like me, just cook. That cooks.
What you cook, Josh?
That cooks. What you need? I cook.
Chitlins.
Nah, I don't eat chitlins.
You gonna make me some dressing?
Hey, and Thanksgiving.
Vegan dressing.
When Thanksgiving come around,
I'm gonna be on you. I'm gonna be knocking on your door.
You give me the ingredients.
Okay.
If you hold me to it.
All right.
We on camera. She's on camera. Y'all see it out there. I owe her a vegan dressing.
That's
right. So we're gonna get out of here and wrap this show up.
I cook microwave.
Yeah, he cooks microwave. But
2 minutes.
Ebony, you're a mental health counselor. So you got some information you want people to know about, so they can get in touch if they have questions about vegan.
Yeah, I want the people to definitely email me.
Where's the email address? Is on the screen now.
ebailey_2001@yahoo.com.
Alright, Trey Carter.
You can reach me at patrickcarter3@gmail.com. There you go. Got the green.
Yeah. And we have had a vegan on the show today. Wave to the people while I get my information set to come to me. You know where y'all can find me at. If you don't know,
the trap is going down.
It's always going down in the trap. You see the file, I'm on file back here, studio producing. All right, MySpace, Twitter.com. I'm the not tripping guy on Twitter, because I ain't tripping about nothing out here.
Can I get the cool thing too?
Eventually. YouTube.com, Little Talk Time. Shoot me an email, nottripping@gmail.com. And on that note, we are officially out.
Get it out.
Here.